Hello, everyone. Welcome to From the Heart. I'm Joshua.
And I'm Mary.
And we're excited to bring all that's new and good when it comes to the arts in Central Florida.
Today we are talking with Ann Herring, Director of Education at Orlando Shakespeare Theater. We look forward to learning about Ann's passionate and creative journey up to now. Welcome, Ann.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Ann, do you consider yourself an artist?
I do consider myself an artist.
Tell us about that.
One of my favorite sayings, ask anybody that knows me, is I'm grateful to have a job in my chosen profession. Because it's, as as artists, it's sometimes hard to find the job that fulfills that. I'm very, very grateful that I have that. I feel like I've been an artist for all my life. I was the kid who was putting on shows in the garage, and forcing my friends to act out the Brady Bunch with me.
Truly.
Were you Jan? I had to be dad. No, I
had to be dad?
Yeah, because nobody wanted to be dad.
That proves how good of an actress you are.
I was like, okay, you could be Martian, Jen. I'll be dad as long as I can do my play. I'm serious. So it was the episode where, never mind, I'll tell you. I've been doing this for a long time. And then, you get into it in high school and college. And I kept trying to talk myself out of it. And my dad kept trying to talk me out of it, be a teacher. So now I'm a teacher, but I'm also an artist.
Tell us about that journey, high school, college. Where'd you go to college?
I went to undergrad in Ithaca College. I grew up in the Hudson Valley in New York State. So we used to say an hour to the bridge, to the George Washington Bridge. So we went, our parents brought us into the city a lot as we were growing up. So I got to see a lot of Broadway shows. And then I went to undergrad at Ithaca College, but I was too chicken to be a theater major, so I was a speech major. And then I couldn't escape it anymore and went and got my MFA in acting from the Ohio State University. You have to say the.
The?
Yes, in Columbus. I don't know, it's a thing.
All right.
It's a thing.
Thank thee.
Yeah, sure. So that's where I got my MFA, and that's really where I got my training. And then it's just, I haven't stopped.
So New York City to Ohio, did you see a difference in the training and the teaching and the creativity? What?
I hadn't really ever trained as an actor before OSU, and so it was all new to me. Everything I had was practical experience. I think there are great training schools throughout the country. I think it depends on what you bring to it. And what you're trying to get out of it. I think you can get training just about anywhere, and I don't think there's any one way to do it, to walk that road, but I think training is essential for an artist.
I know it's true because in all the movies they leave Ohio to go to New York. And
yeah, right. I hear that.
Oh, to Ohio.
And that's valid too, And whether you do private training or you go through a program like that, I think there's a million different ways to peel that onion. But I think as long as you get it somewhere.
Well, speaking of which, you work with a lot of young people
Right.
who are going to make their career in theater, whether it's performing, directing, or teaching.
Yep.
What's your best advice that you give them? What do you like to say to them?
My best advice is I like to say be a triple threat. And I don't mean that as an actor, simply that as an actor you need to be able to act, dance, and sing, which is a term that we use in acting, a triple threat. What I mean by triple threat is if you're an actor, also know how to stage manage, also know how to write. If you're a director, also know how to light a show, know how to write a grant. So look at what you do best, whether it's performing or teaching or whatever. Then look at what you do second best and get better at it. And then look at something that you don't really know how to do and get good at it.
That's great advice.
Because
It is great advice.
in that way, you'll always be in the room where the work is being created. And you may not be in your first choice. You may not be wearing your first hat of choice. You may be wearing the second hat you do, but you'll be in the room and you'll hear about the audition or you'll hear about where to submit the play. If you're, working a camera or if you're doing makeup for something.
But this is what your life has turned into because
Absolutely.
now, although you're the education director, we were talking earlier,
Right.
you do direct and you
Administration,
still perform.
directing, teaching,
And it's so
acting.
fun getting to know you and you really are a role model for that. I mean, you really are living that advice of being able to wear all the
She's
different
a
hats.
quadruple threat.
I think she's more than quadruple. I don't know what the word would
can't
be
say
for
that.
that.
Big threat.
Yeah, so what is Ann Herring? Yeah, big threat. I
Big
like that.
threat.
What does Ann Herring do when you're not doing education at Shakespeare Theater? What is your life like outside of the theater?
Oh, Lord. On Mondays, basically, is what you're asking.
Yeah.
We tend to work 6 days a week.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm resting. I'm a workaholic. I tend to be working on the other thing
You're
when I'm
talking to
not
two
at
of them.
work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you write? I mean, do you?
I don't.
No?
I didn't get that gene. I wish I did. I would write more plays for women.
Why?
Because there aren't enough, you know. Most playwrights over the ages have been men. We tend to write for what we know and what we are. And again, in the
when
arts,
Shakespeare wrote, the men played the parts.
Yeah,
right,
that's true.
right. So yeah, I wish I was a writer, but I'm not.
Well, and you told us a story earlier about how you played a part that was, even as a kid, about being a dad in the Brady Bunch.
Right.
But what is the most crazy part you've ever played in
Ooh, good
a
question.
show?
Crazy part I've ever played. Well, Nicholas Nickleby was awesome because I got to play 5 different characters in the course of those shows. With very little transition time. So I like those shows where you get to play multiple characters, you know.
And do you have a moment on stage in a performance anywhere that sticks out in mind for whatever reason?
That
you can
smile
say on
said
TV.
means yes.
No, that's a hard question. I don't know. I remember doing, when I was way too young to do it, I remembered playing Linda Lohman in Death of a Salesman in grad school and having one of those moments where I felt like all the world came together and it just like really worked, that moment. But those moments are few and far, but I mean,
Yeah.
they're
But you
fleeting.
bask in those
yeah,
moments.
right. But,
What's your dream role?
well, I would love to do Sweeney Todd. I would love to do Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd. I don't know if
You
I'll
would
ever
be
get
fantastic.
to do
You know
that.
what? You would be great, and maybe that could happen.
Maybe it could happen.
Look at everything else you've done.
Who
at
can we
Orlando
call?
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
We might be able to turn this head.
This could
All
be
you need is a
Sweeney
little
Todd.
blood and a pie. There.
Wonderful. And the best part is we're going to get to hear more from you in just a little while. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to be coming back and hearing more from Anne Herring, looking into her future. What does it look like? And what does the future for Orlando Shakespeare Theater look like? Stay with us from the Heart.